Francis Ngannou has gotten used to that Las Vegas lifestyle. Dricus Du Plessis still back at home in Africa digging holes. Francis Ngannou's over here at the Gucci store with Charles Oliveira, and Dricus Du Plessis back at home rocking a dashiki. I miss the rays down in Africa. That's what Kamaru Usman, Israel Adesanya, and yes, I know a lot of people like to hold on to that one. Yes, even Francis Ngannou. That's exactly what they're singing. I miss the rains down in Africa. Why are they missing it? Because they're not there. They're not even in Africa. Okay? Israel Adesanya lives in New Zealand. Kamaru Usman lives in Florida. And Francis Ngannou lives in Nevada. Now, I know he has a cute mansion over there in his homeland, which he has abandoned. I understand he has property there, but it's to maintain appearances. These kings of Africa, they left. They didn't want to have nothing to do with Africa. They miss the rains down. Maybe that's the only thing they miss, the rains, the weather. But Africa as a whole, chale. Dricus Du Plessis is the real African champ. And frankly, if anybody has a problem with that, I have to say something about this because I feel like nobody points this out. If you have an issue with Dricus Du Plessis, by the way, I kind of feel like I need to stop saying this because I feel like it's becoming such a big part of everything I say. But people confuse things so quickly and so easily. I mean, I just before the recording of this video got off my Nigerian face, okay? Everyone should know by this point I'm not a Dricus fan. I wasn't even an Usman fan and I had the pain on. I know it's confusing. It's a confusing time. But I'm not a Dricus fan, and I'm saying he is the king of Africa. And if anybody has a problem with that, that means they're racist. Because if they have a problem with calling him the real king of Africa, now it's about skin color. There's no way around it. If you have a problem with Dricus Du Plessis being the king of Africa, that means that you have an issue with the color of his skin. Okay? And I know we're taking the next level. And look, that's not part of my culture. I'm not in those circles or whatever. But these light skins, I mean, Steph Curry's been hearing about it for years. These light skins face the uppermost disrespect at all times. And there's no lack of it in the UFC community, man. And I'm not a fan. But the way that Dricus Du Plessis is representing the country of Africa, it's commendable. And you got to respect it. The last person that represented Africa on the level that Dricus is doing it right now is Shakira. And I didn't hear anybody complaining about her. Bunch of cochinos, double standards, up the wazoo. I didn't hear anybody complaining when Shakira was out there representing Africa. Waka waka, ew. You telling me that's not a cultural appreciation? The waka waka, nobody got mad at Shakira for that. No. What about Dricus? Is it because he's a dude? Nobody has represented in the modern era Africa the way that Dricus Du Plessis has done it. And I don't know if you guys saw it. The reason I'm getting kind of heated about this right now is because I was correct and people thought I was being silly. I said, I think it was at the end of the first video that I made, the very night of the event, right after the event ended. I said that he's taking out the first two. He took out Adesanya, took out Usman. The only ones left. You better watch your back. You better watch out for the real black champ, Ngannou. He's coming. You better watch out. Look over your shoulder, Francis. Look over your shoulder. He's coming, Francis Ngannou. And people laughed. He's too big. What are you talking about? The whole week, all I heard was Dricus is too big. Dricus is too big. Dricus is a big boy. And then I bring up Ngannou. Oh, no. Ngannou's too big. What's with all these dudes thinking about how big other dudes are? I don't understand this size thing. Why don't you go back in your hot tub time machine to 1993 and tell me how much size matters? Okay? Size, I've been saying this too much. Size does not matter. Okay? I've had extensive conversations about this just to make sure. Size doesn't matter. It's not important. Okay? I've checked. It does not matter. It's not important. Nobody cares about it. You would think they do, but they don't. And Du Plessis is a big boy. Ngannou's a big boy, and I'm going to get more on that. But I brought it up, and now there's news out right now. Yes, Dricus is calling out Ngannou. You guys thought I was crazy. He's calling out Francis Ngannou. He's next. He's next. But people are upset about it because they don't think that he represents the country well, because he's not the right color. What is this, 1940? You ain't the right color. Sight's taken. Get to the back of the bus. What are we talking about? It's 2026. You could have Alan Page doing what she's doing, but you can't have an African dude be a light skin. I don't even know if my metaphor is flushing out the way that I wanted it to. This is not scripted. I'm just saying, you could have somebody be something that they're not, but you can't have a dude just be something that he is and be left alone. He's the real African champ. Dricus Du Plessis colonized Africa. Let's just say what it is. People move. People move. The place I'm residing in right now, I wasn't born here. I moved here, right? Am I not allowed? Dricus Du Plessis colonized Africa. Then he colonized the UFC as a whole, came chasing down Adesanya, just like Alex Pereira did. Now he's colonizing weight divisions. Now he's bending weight divisions. He's going to go up to heavyweight. He's not expecting Ngannou to come down. He's going to go up. He's going to go up. And you're right, the fatigue is strong. That light skin fatigue. There's people out here experiencing and flexing and complaining about that light skin fatigue. That's what Michael Jackson dealt with his whole life. It's like, you can't be white enough for the white dudes. You can't be black enough for the black dudes. You got to be somewhere in the middle. I get it. And that's what Dricus is struggling with right now. Dricus, what's that thing? What's that thing that Michael Jackson had? What is the skin condition that Michael Jackson had? It's like, on some level, it's called vitiglio. On some level, it's like, whether it's like metaphorical or like spiritual, or like, it's like Dricus Du Plessis his whole life has been dealing on some level with a certain kind of like vitiglio. He ain't white enough for the white dudes. He ain't black enough for the black dudes. He's a man without a country. He's stuck in the middle. He's all by his lonesome, and it's not fair. It's not fair how you're treating him. And I think he has a good shot against Francis Ngannou. Did you see Francis Ngannou against Felipe Lins? I don't know about you, but I don't fall for the propaganda. I don't care what they say about him anymore. I don't care if they show the replays about him hitting like a Ford truck. He looked absolutely terrible against Felipe Lins. Maybe it would have been different if it would have been a different caliber opponent. But the way that he looked against Felipe Lins is unforgivable. And he should be scared right now. He's gone soft. Francis Ngannou has gotten used to that Las Vegas lifestyle. Dricus Du Plessis still back at home in Africa digging holes. Dricus Du Plessis, Francis Ngannou's over here at the Gucci store with Charles Oliveira, and Dricus Du Plessis back at home rocking a dashiki. And you guys are complaining. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about you guys at large, like the people, the community at large. Not none of you in here. I know that you guys are homies. I'm talking about the people at large. I'm not yelling at the people in here. I'm yelling about the people that are gonna watch later after the fact, after I clip this. I'm talking about the haters that are judging him by the color of his skin. The only thing at this point they could get in Dricus Du Plessis' way, and I've brought this up before, is his cochino coach. That's the only thing they could get in his way at this point. His cochino coach. And we have too much footage. We have too much evidence of this dude in public rubbing the small of his back, caressing him, kissing him, embracing him. Did you see that one video? I made a video of this before. There's a video of Dricus. Bro, they couldn't even wait. It's like they couldn't even wait till they got home. There's footage. And it ain't even just in the cage when DC's watching from a distance, like Ian Gary Machado style, watching from the corner. and making that disgusting looking face. There's footage of Dricus Du Plessis and his coach kissing from other sides of the cage. Did you guys remember when I put that out? There's footage of Dricus being in the cage and the coach being on the outside holding on to the top, and they're kissing in between like if it's recess. Have you seen that footage? Dricus Du Plessis, his coach is the only thing that could get in his way if he starts doing some of this Hollywood Babylon nonsense type of stuff, and he starts trying to get Dricus. You know how they do to the black men, how they do to the black men in Hollywood, how they do to the rappers. The next thing Dricus Du Plessis' coach might try to act up and start doing, we're going to see footage of Dricus Du Plessis wearing a dress, like they were trying to do to Dave Chappelle, Martin Lawrence. We're going to see him doing some sketchy looking stuff. We're going to see some De La Hoya looking photos of Dricus Du Plessis wearing high heels. That's the only thing they could get in his way at this point. They're always trying to come after the black man, trying to get him to do some weird stuff, some weird humiliation ritual type stuff. And I know that's difficult to say in this day and age, because some people would say that Dricus Du Plessis rocking high heels and a dress is beautiful and it's bold, but it's something that's been happening for decades. That's why Dave Chappelle took off to Africa. And they sent a clone back to America, and that's why he's not funny anymore. I don't want the same thing to happen to Dricus. I'm not a fan. Okay? But I don't want Dricus Du Plessis' coach to try to get him to wear a miniskirt. Dricus says no, takes off. Well, he can't take off to Africa because he already lives in Africa. But he goes into hiding, and then they send a fake Dricus out, Paul McCartney style, and all he does is grapple. Ever since Dave Chappelle came back, he doesn't do stand-up comedy anymore. He does TED Talks. You got to hand it to Dricus. He's being bold. He's stepping up to Francis Ngannou, literally. And I think he should step up. I think he should step up in weight. He should step up in divisions. And I talk about this all the time. I think the whole division thing is stupid. I think anybody should fight anybody. So I don't think it's the biggest gesture in the world for someone to step up in weight class. I think that's someone just finally being like Josh Hokett, just being a real dude and saying, hey, I woke up like this. This is how I woke up. You want scrap or not? I don't care how much I weigh. You want me to take a Du Plessis first so I lose 5 pounds or what? I'm ready to go right now. And I was talking about this with Moss on the hit show, the Moss and Jesse show, which is taking YouTube by storm right now. And I was talking about how I think Dricus Du Plessis should actually go up in weight. Again, I don't even believe in weight classes, but since they are the way they are, I think he should go up, because the fact that he wasn't able to finish Kamaru Usman with that ridiculous game plan or lack thereof. It was a terrible, absolutely pathetic showing from Kamaru Usman. For a while, I was like, hold up. Am I watching Chamoyev fight? Am I watching Chamoyev Du Plessis the bed all over again? Is this deja vu? Am I in the twilight? Oh no, it's Usman. What's happening right now? The worst game plan, threw everything out the window, didn't listen to his coaches. And Dricus still couldn't. He was on them Kevin Lee legs. Dricus still couldn't put him out. And there's 2 reasons as far as I'm confirmed. Because Dricus went in there with a fabulous game plan. And I'm embarrassed that I use the word fabulous right now. I wish I could edit that out. I don't say that normally. I don't know where that came from. Maybe it's because we're talking about the humiliation rituals and high heels and miniskirts and stuff like that. I don't know. See how easily it infiltrates the mind? Anyway. I was talking about this on the hit show, the Moss and Jesse show, that I think that because of the lack of a game plan from Usman and the way that Dricus beautifully planned for everything that he thought Usman was going to be doing, and it worked out perfectly, he should have been able to put him away, but he didn't. And I think it's because, and don't switch up now, because everyone's always talking about how Dricus is so big. He's a big dude. What a hoss. What a country boy. He's so big. Cornbread and grits. He's a big boy, right? I think he could be a lot bigger. And I think he depletes himself. And I think that's why his cardio is so bad. I mean, I guess you got away back in the day, Dricus, talking about your deviated septum, and that was the issue for your cardio. I don't know if you got something else deviated in your body, but your cardio is still Du Plessis. It's terrible. And there was no power. He should have been able, he had those Max Holiday punches, them significant strikes leader type of pillow punches. He should have been able to put out Usman. He landed 19 head kicks. He was rocking and rocking and rocking that dude. He should have been able to put him out. I think if he goes up in weight, his cardio is much better. He's got the frame. There's a lot of dudes that go up weight, like Adesanya. Adesanya's got that super narrow, like NBA type of frame. Dricus has a solid, bigger frame. He's not a short dude. He's got a big frame, muscular. He could go up and not drain himself to where his cardio's all gone and where his punching power is gone. I think he's serious about going up and facing Ngannou. Flat-footed Ngannou. And I think he wins. I think he wins.